All right, guys, we are going to get started. Session 5 recap, placement matches. I'm still crushing some chips and salsa. Matt and I had a delicious taco lunch. Matt, what do you got? Overall session feelings, anything?
Overall session feelings. We were talking. This is, for me, you can summarize this session like this is the pride session, right? Because most people's hopes and dreams have all been crushed at this point at some level. Everybody came into this tournament wanting to win. At some point, their dreams was ripped out of them.
Or the other part is their dreams have been fulfilled, right? They wanted to be an All-American. They made that All-American, and they didn't say, I love what you're going to need to repeat for them what you said to me. But they didn't have I want to take 4th, or I want to take 6th. So, yeah, I mean,
I'll expand on my thoughts. So, number one, for a lot of these guys, like a Miles Martin, per se.
Dreams crushed.
His dreams are crushed. The only thing that would have satisfied him this weekend was a national championship. That was the only thing he was been hunting down for 3 straight years from his freshman year. So there's no real incentive. He's been on the podium 3 different times.
Yep.
He's done there. He's been there. The only thing that he has to compete for today is pride.
Yes.
You know, how much of a pride? Because he doesn't really care. Is it 3rd? Is it 6th? He doesn't. But
yeah, I agree.
So he sucks it up. And then the other thing, I would always tell my guys this. On Friday night when they were still in the tournament, like, hey guys, make up your mind where you want to place tomorrow. Because before the season, after the season, when people are writing down their goals, typically only 2 different things: national champ or an All-American. And national champ, that's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
All-American, that could be 2nd through 8th. There's nobody that says, hey, coach, I want to get 4th place this year.
Nobody.
I want to get 6th place this year. And last night, guys are sitting in their hotel rooms. I would always say, hey, guys, make up your mind where you want to place tomorrow and go compete for that place. Because everybody else is like, they're in limbo. They're like, wait, I'm on the podium. I'm an All-American. That's good enough. And sometimes on Saturday morning when you get in the heat of the battle, it's when those guys have made their mind up, this is where I want to end up in 3rd. I want to win my last match.
Especially when you're tired, you're sore, you already had 5, 6 matches. You made weight 3 times in a row for the only time this season.
Right.
So easy to kind of, I was pack it in. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, so I mean, when it gets tough on Saturdays, some guys, and they haven't resolved themselves how they want to finish the day, that's when they just kind of throw in the towels. Like, I'll go out and compete, and they face some resistance. Like, I'm fine. I'm on the podium. I did good enough.
I agree. All right. So let's get into the weights. 125. Matt, we said 130, 133, and 165 are our favorite weight classes. 125 is my new favorite weight because I realized everybody's coming back.
Everybody. Literally almost, 7?
Everybody except Bresser, who's 8th.
Yeah. The top 7 guys will all be back next year. And that's not even including new guys coming in. I
didn't really think about who the new guys will be yet. Yeah. But, man, these consolation semis were awesome. So you got Glory Rivera, a freaking shootout. Glory gets the first 2 takedowns. Rivera gets takedown. Glory gets takedown. Rivera gets takedown. It was just just awesome match all the way around. Great scrambles, great action. Rivera comes out on top 14-19. But I know you were impressed with Glory also.
I know these are the positive sides on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Like some guys, they're just like, okay, I'm just going to go out and wrestle. I'm not protecting anything. I'm on the podium. There's nothing else. I'm just going to go out and wrestle. And that's what I loved about Rivera and Glory. They just they got in a shootout.
Yes.
Like,
it was awesome.
Last takedown wins. And it was great.
I think it was last takedown wins. I believe that Glory went to his back off that last one.
But to our point, we started talking about the impressive tech fall that Glory absorbed in November. And we kind of called it there.
It was kind of easy to see him coming, though. I mean, for you and I who know wrestling, golly, just some of the stuff he does is so good. It's so high level. He's got a great gas tank. He's got good flexibility. He's got good mat awareness. There's just a lot of things he does really, really well. For me, if I'm going to give Pat Glory some advice, maybe I can't do this to every guy, but the one thing he would lack is sometimes he gives up those just really easy takedowns because his basic defense is not quite as high level as the rest of his defense, and his defense also can't match his offense. So,
and I think a lot of times when you're so offensive minded, like a guy like Pat Glory, your defense gets put on the back burner because it's the old saying, your defense is good offense. When you're on the attack as much as he is, you don't have to worry about your defense as much. But when you face the elite guys, you know that they're going to have 3-4 opportunities in a match that you're going to have to defend. So Yeah, if there is an area of improvement for Glory, man, if he shores up his defense, he's got to be a guy we're talking about in contention to win it next year.
Absolutely. Vito Arujau looks really good against Nick Pagini. Controls the whole match. 2 takedowns to nothing.
In a battle of Long Island guys. And
you said they were teammates. I'm not sure, but I think you might be right.
Teammates, I think they went to the same club.
Club teammates, yes.
But in all likelihood, I mean, there's a high level of familiarity with those two being from Long Island
yes.
and right from the same area and on Long Island as well.
So Rivera ends up taking third over Arujau, and then I want to talk about this 5th place match. Nick Pagini ends up pinning Patrick Glory, but Glory, the one thing he didn't get in the other matches was early takedowns.
Right.
In the duel, he got late takedowns. In the earlier match in this tournament, Pagini got all takedowns. Glory went out and got the first 2 takedowns of the match, and then ends up getting stuck in the 3rd period. So, the good and the bad of him that match. But yeah, the top 7 guys here: Mueller, Lee, Rivera, Arujau, Piccinini, Glory, Foley, all back next year. I mean, that is going to be, man, that's going to be a whole lot of fun for us to watch the fall. And there, you know what? The other part about this match is they're all just so dynamic in their own ways.
In different ways. That's
yes.
what's so fascinating. I mean, they're all just. You can just from a wrestling fan point, like you can get a high level of appreciation for all their styles. They're so diverse,
absolutely.
And that's what makes this weight class so beautiful because there's so many contrasting styles.
This weight class is gonna be so much fun next year. Okay, 133. I know I told Matt I have never ever in my life heard a crowd go so nuts as over a breakdown. So Pletcher, it was nuts. It was crazy. Pletcher gets the last takedown to go up 7-6 on Austin DeSanto. Chops him with 8 seconds left, and the crowd went bonkers because they knew he was getting ridden out. So he rides him out for the win. 7-6.
Stop Pride Jam. Standing up. Stop Pride.
Boom.
Stop
Boom.
Pride Jam.
Knock him flat. Yeah. DeSanto really was bringing the pressure in this match. And then, you know what? When Pletcher needed to turn it on, though, in the 3rd period, he went and got both takedowns in the 3rd period.
He did.
So,
and you know what? We haven't been... We've called DeSanto like we've seen it. I think we've been pretty fair, pretty unbiased. But for all the people, like, I hate using the term well-behaved.
That's a well-behaved young man, Matt.
He was a well-behaved young man this tournament, wasn't he? I mean, there wasn't... I mean...
He threw up a few stall calls, and he kind of did a couple of these. But he did get a team point deducted yesterday. I didn't see it, but someone told me that. They said he must have said something when he stood up. So...
Hey, like it or not, the one thing that you and I both talked about, DeSanto is much improved from a year ago in all 3 positions. So you got to give. I know we've had discussion here before about the development of some of the Iowa wrestlers. More poignantly, you've had some comments about their development. Austin DeSanto has definitely developed in every area.
Yeah, better strategy, more discipline.
We were talking 2 weeks ago after Big Ten, should he ditch going down, but he continued to stick to it, and he was getting off bottom all weekend.
Except against Luke Pletcher.
Except Chop Pride Jam.
Okay. Steven Michik looks great this morning. John Ernesti, my Missouri Tiger, he had a really rough go. He kind of got worked by both Michik and DeSanto. Luke Pletcher loses to Michik, so we got... Michik, Pletcher, DeSanto, Ernesti, Lezak, Bravo Young. Lezak kind of controls Bravo Young. Bravo Young got on he got on the podium, which was great. But I think that some people, including myself, thought that there was a chance he could go much higher this year. I don't know. What are you thinking? Say you're thinking Roman Bravo Young heading towards next year. Is he going to move way up? Is he going to make a jump like some freshmen do, or is he where he is at?
No, I think he's going to make a major jump. I mean, the talent's evident.
Yeah.
I think you've got to get... There's something to be said going through a high-level D1 season in the Big Ten where you don't have any easy matches. And typically, as accomplished as these guys are, the one thing they're not used to is getting pushed to their limits week in and week out.
Yes.
Not only in competition, but every day in the practice room. Right? So, I mean, that is a period of adjustment that people don't factor in. I think... His talent's undeniable. I think there's got to be probably some maturity that's going on. I think from a wrestling perspective, he's got all the ingredients to do something great. But there were some points throughout the weekend and through this year. Like you look at him, it's like, yeah, he just needs to mature. Just needs to season, get some seasoning. So I think he's going to be much improved. I do want to give Pletcher some props. Anytime you can wrestle above your seed, especially at this weight class.
Oh,
he was the fifth seed,
yes.
But, I mean, we
because this goes deep. This one goes to 15, 16.
We were talking 10 different tournaments, 10 different outcomes. So anytime that you can wrestle above your seed in one of the deepest weight class ever in NCAA history, you got to give Pletcher credit. He wrestled a really, really great tournament.
Yep. And obviously some really good guys who were not at the podium coming back next year. Treek Wilson, Mickey Philippi. And again, I'm sure there's going to be some... Gomez. I'm sure there's going to be some... people who are redshirting, or Seth Gross might come back, right?
Yeah,
Seth Gross could be back still. Yeah. So, we could have a very exciting 133 again next year. All right, 141. Jade Ironman comes through for the third place finish, beating both Mitch McKee in a close match and Dom Demas. And but I think for me, and I think you're saying so, the story is Dom Demas. Man, he's a freaking powerhouse, dynamo. Just exciting, fun to watch. I mean, how many times did he inside trip Nick Lee?
We called it. Like, what's going to happen next? It's like, I'm calling one more inside trip. Boom. Right as soon as it came out of my mouth, inside trip. Again, we talked about it last night. I think this is going to be the case for the next 3 years. He's the gunslinger, man. He is going to bring it. He is going to throw the kitchen sink every time. Win or lose, you know how he's going to come after you, which I love. And a lot of times in those situations, this is where a fan base, you can get really behind someone like this because it's win or die. It's win or lose. Go big or lose it big. And I love guys that have the guts to put it on the line and throw the big moves at you.
I mean, and so the score of 13-9 doesn't really do this match justice because Dom Demas, he got 5 takedowns against Nick Lee. 5. Also got a couple escapes. Nick Lee got, I believe he only got, I'm going to check, only 1 takedown, I think. He got some, let's see, escape, takedown. He got 2 takedowns in the third period. So 2 takedowns in the third period.
Which I think, it's not like at that point Demas was really competing that hard. He was just, the outcome was, secured.
Yes, don't mess it up.
You just don't want to give up a big move.
Yeah, another weight class where McKenna graduates. Does Kyle Shoup graduate? I don't know him that well.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I kind of think
but none of these other guys graduate, man. Yanni, Ironman, Demas, Lee, McKee. Although Ironman is taking a little bit redshirt next year, so we're gonna see him in.
And that wouldn't be a surprise totally to see Yanni take a great.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all.
Yeah,
because he wouldn't be in a red shirt situation because he's an Ivy League kid, so he'd have to take. He'd academically have to take the year off.
Yeah, you take a bridge year or a gap year is what you would do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Damn, Dom Demas could be in the finals. It could be Dom Demas, Nick Lee next year if Ironman and Yanni both red shirt or gray shirt or whatever shirt, some kind of shirt. Okay, 149. What do we got here? We got. Remember, Matt? I don't remember. Oh.
Yeah, we got
Matt Klodzik gets taken out by Mitch Feinsilver. Austin O'Connor gets by Brock Mahler on, I don't want to say the weirdest, but the most, Brock Mahler gets a tying takedown with 2 seconds. It looks like they're in overtime. And Austin O'Connor gets an escape in 2 seconds.
There was no, all.
And it wasn't even questionable.
No, he was out. There was no. He just sat back on his heels and kind of thought that there was going to be no wrestling, and O'Connor just
exploded.
Jumped shoulder in, sit out, turn in, and there's no. All you had to do it on top, like off the whistle, pressure forward.
Yes. It's 2 seconds.
Yeah. Even if he gets to his feet, you lock your hands. But if you're sitting back in your heels.
Yes.
He just jumps up.
He wasn't even ready. He thought, hey, we're going overtime. Come on, Brock. All right. So Austin O'Connor beats Mitch Feinsilver for 3rd place. Klodzik beats Brock Mahler for 5th place. Deegan beats Patrick Luger for 7th place. And that was actually a really good match. That was really back and forth. Deegan ended up getting takedown right out in the 3rd period to win. I believe it was 10-9. Okay, 157. These had some fun wrestlebacks. Alec Pantaleo came back, got revenge for the front side, beats Hayden Hidlay for 3rd place. Also beats Caleb Young. Hidlay takes out Deacon. Young takes out Deacon. Pegged a lot early. And this is a weight class where we actually graduate a lot. Nolf graduates. Pantaleo graduates. Hidley does not.
Does not graduate. Deacon is back.
He's a Pagdalao graduates. Early's not that old, huh?
Yeah.
So decent amount graduating here. Caleb Young, I will say I know he was at the 6th seed, finishing 5th, so that's not that high above where he was predicted at.
But I guess it's just the way he wrestled, the way he competed, was above what we saw throughout the year. So even though, he wrestled above his seed, but I think he performed well above his seed.
I felt like it. I felt like if you asked me who's going to win, Deacon or Young, I would have picked Deacon and not thought too much about it. And even in the semis, Caleb Young keeps it pretty close against Tyler Berger. And so Berger also graduates. So, this is a weight where, I think actually we'll probably see some fill into this weight class from either 65 or 49.
Right.
Because what happens when you have a champion who's so dominant, like Jason Nolfeld?
Yeah, guys either went up and down.
Start to disperse themselves in one manner or the other. So I think we'll see 57 fill in a little bit next year. But a lot of graduation out of this weight class. All right, 165. I will tell you, Christian Piles made this comment, Matt, on Twitter. He said that pound for pound, which it's a funny way to put it, but I think it's true. Pound for pound, the Lock Haven crew was the rowdiest cheering section in the arena.
Pound for pound, yeah, they made some noise, and for good reason. They had
two All-Americans
again for the second year in a row.
Yeah.
Another, I'm not sure, all the way down to 20, but they've got to. I would think they've got to be inside the top 20. Yeah, right there at 18.
Lock Haven at number 18, finishing right ahead North Carolina, right behind NC State.
So great for Scott Moore, the Bald Eagles of Lock Haven, their second straight top 20 finish, and gosh, it's got to be, since
a while,
early 2000s maybe.
So great job, Scott Moore.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, sorry, I gotta click back over the brackets. So in the first round, Wick finds a way to get it done against Isaiah White. Marsteller over Shield, Marsteller over Wick, in a payback for the quarterfinals. You got Marinelli taking 7th place. Kind of beats Bryce Steyr pretty handily. Another weight class, and I said this again. Well, you said that Wick's not Marsteller's not a senior, but Joseph is an underclassman. Marcel underclassman. Wick underclassman. White underclassman. Shield, Marinelli. I do not know about Steyr. Oh my gosh. Sure. Who's Chenza wrestling in the finals? I'm blanking right now. Are you blanking too?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, Mackay Lewis, and he's a freshman.
Yeah, he's back.
Mackay.
No,
Mackay.
We've got
Mackay.
We've got that for sure.
That's what I was texted this morning.
Okay.
Mackay. Okay.
So
a lot of people coming back in this weight class again. Fun weight class. Okay, 174. And this was a sad one for me because we were watching up on the board.
Pretty much for the entire session, the team race was kind of secured.
All secured. We'll talk about it after
finishes. This. Yeah, but
Michigan's in 6th, Missouri's in 5th, and there's only 1 point, I believe, that separates the two of them. And
Lewis is on top in the third period.
I'm sorry, it was only half a point because you only get 1 point for this win.
Right.
And Lewis is on top. Amin gets the reversal. Amin takes out Daniel Lewis for 3rd place.
And leapfrogs Michigan above Missouri from 6th to 5th.
So now Missouri's back in 6th place, unfortunately. And that was the last wrestler for both teams. Amin beats Labriola. Lewis beats McFadden. And, I have to say, Daniel Lewis, this weight class is so good to me. Hall and Valencia are on their way to becoming all-timers. Amin is 3rd 2 years in a row now, only behind Hall and Valencia.
Two all-time greats.
Who are going to be 2 all-time greats.
Yeah.
And, Daniel Lewis is stuck in this. I feel like in certain years, in certain weight classes, Daniel Lewis is a title contender.
He's a 4-time All-American.
Yeah, and never below, I think, either 5th or 6th. So he never 7th or 8th.
Really impressive.
Yes, really impressive Daniel Lewis.
It's one of those careers where you're going to look back, it's like, holy cow, that guy was so good.
He was so good.
How did he not win a national title?
Yeah, absolutely. Just all-timers. So when you got all-time stuck in front of you, sometimes that's how it goes. Okay, 184 pounds. We got Ryan Price, Miles Martin for 3rd place. Miles Martin gets the win, and this is one of those you were talking about. It's a pride round. Miles didn't look like he was quite all there, but he did enough to get it done. Price beats Chip Ness. Parker beats Ness.
it really shows you, like, Miles Martin, he was just operating on pride, like I said.
Yes.
And it just came but that shows you how talented, what a talent this guy truly is.
Yeah.
He didn't look his best last night. We don't know the reason for that. We can speculate whatever, but he just showed you against some good guys today, like with his heart and his head probably not totally in it. He still wins third pretty easy.
Absolutely.
And it's one of those things where you look back like,
I don't even know Miles, and I'm kind of sad for him.
I'm really sad for him. And I don't know him at all either.
Man.
You just hear things, and wrestling's such a small community. You know, this guy's a good person.
Yes.
Outstanding wrestler, great character kid, and you put those combination of things, and that's the recipe where you naturally pull for someone, and
yes.
You see the career he had, winning as a freshman. Coming so close the next 2 years, and then looking like it's a shoo-in.
Yeah.
And that's why we always talk about these things, because there's no shoo-ins, no matter how great you are, how dominant you are. I mean, we almost saw it. I mean, on multiple occasions.
No.
On multiple occasions, some of the
only person who's been bulletproof all weekend is Nickel.
Nickel's been the only one.
Mauling everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
And even Nickel had a decent match against Stanford.
Yeah, it was decent. I mean, he kind of opened it up there.
It
was close.
But I mean, even Nickel hasn't come through completely unscathed. He got tested a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. The 197 pounds. I think that the story of the WrestleBacks here is dominance of Preston Weigel. He goes out and pins Willie Nicholas really quickly. Beats Patrick Brookie 7-0. So for the Flow guys, and I said it too. Who were complaining that Weigel was seated over Brookie when it should have been the other way around. I guess Weigel kind of makes it right, if you will.
What's the saying? Justice proves its point.
Yeah, I never heard that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
My wife likes when I come up with new sayings, so I'm going to use that one.
Justice proved its point. For all you people that had a problem with Weigel being over Brookie, I mean, Weigel looked actually outstanding today.
Outstanding.
Some guys they have that. Once they lose, it's almost like
outstanding.
They have freedom.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. There's no expectations, and then you get to see the true abilities of the athlete. And Weigel just looked like he just let it go. I'm like, awesome. I'm going out and wrestling today.
Yes, I totally agree. Brookie, 4th place. That's 2 All-Americans for Princeton. Good job there.
Fantastic job by Ben Honus. I've got to point that out. One
Warner beating your boy Ben Honus for 8th place. Honus sneaks in there for the All-American. He beat the number 21 seeded Thomas Lane to All-American. So good job. Nonetheless, good job, Ben Honus. I do 100 push-ups, although I've double or nothing for 100 tonight, so I can owe you 200 or nothing. Okay, on Anthony Ashnault turning, if he gets on top, Michael Jordan. Okay, last weight, the heavies, and then we're going to hit some questions from you guys. We got, Gable Stevenson coming back for 3rd place over Jordan Wood. He looks good against both Hamida and Wood. Probably, obviously, pride on his part too, because everyone's saying this guy's the next 4-timer. And then he doesn't even find himself on Saturday night. He finds himself on Saturday morning in the WrestleBacks.
For the first time in
when's
wrestling.
When's the last time he's been on a WrestleBack?
Probably. I can't remember.
Never.
He probably can't remember. But this is,
because the one time he lost, the one that I remember losing was the Worlds, and there's no WrestleBacks there.
Right. But this is a situation where this one and done has come into play. The old one and done for Stevenson. He's gonna win, and he's gonna go MMA. He's gonna win. He's gonna go.
I didn't believe any of that
I don't
stuff.
believe it.
Yeah.
So,
he's coming back. Minneapolis. It's in his hometown next year.
He's got to.
If he don't win a title in his hometown, he's gonna be really disappointed.
Right.
Yeah. So Stevenson's back. So Stevens over Wood, Desi over Hamida, Stencil over Hilger. We got Kassar White in the finals. Okay, let's just talk a little bit of team race. And then we're gonna call it a day. So I believe Michigan over Missouri, but neither one of them have a finalist. Although Cornell, look at that, if they win both, they could climb up to 63.5. So they could pass
still
both.
A shot.
There's still a shot.
They got to go 2 for 2.
2 for 2, and they get a shot. But besides that set, so we got 123.5 Penn State, 96.5 Ohio State, 84 Oklahoma State, and 72 Iowa.
So I guess my one takeaway here, I think from the prognosticators, based on seeds, Penn State had the potential to score, I think, 128 or 128.
But that was with no bonus.
With no bonus. So, we've been talking all weekend where it doesn't look like Penn State has wrestling at their peak as well as they've wrestled with.
Well, I mean, we were thinking this, was it all-time gap type of team,
right,
where they're going to put a distance between, I think I've seen people win by 50 and 60 before, and right now they're up by 27. So we're not, it's I guess if they go 5 for 5 and Ohio State loses all their finals, they're going to open that gap, but it's not going to be one of the biggest of all time. So,
what this does, if you look at the team breakdown, what this speaks to is the introduction of parity into the sport. I think.
You think?
A little bit. I don't think we've probably. And I need to go back and look at team scores over the last
historical
decade.
Stuff, yeah.
Like, have you had 5-6 teams score this many points? I think back in the Iowa era when they were dominating the year,
so much better.
There's typically just one or two. There was Iowa and then the number 2, and after that a big drop off.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing 5-6 teams with multiple 4, 5, 6 All-Americans amongst them, when we typically hadn't seen a lot of those. Numbers spread out across the board. And obviously, that's great for the sport of wrestling. Yeah. It diversifies the fan base. There's rooting interests around the country. So I think it's the more parity that can be introduced, the better for the sport.
Absolutely. So I thought that the one was obvious. 2 through 5, that was negotiable, and really, none of the races were close.
No.
Second was way over third, and fourth. And fourth over fifth, and then where it starts to get interesting is that 5th, 6th place. I think if you're Iowa, I think you have to be a little disappointed, but it's weird because I think you're disappointed at the same time. I think you're probably encouraged because you look at what you bring back, and they haven't had a team like that since they won. Probably since 2010? What was the last time they won? 11?
9.
Are you sure it was 10?
10. No, you're right.
10. Okay.
10.
So 2010 they won. They haven't had a team this good since 2010.
We'll get to that, but
we'll get to that next week. But on paper, they're freaking stacked.
And the other thing I want to get into, I think it's always fascinating. So much of this tournament, we're focused on the big-time programs, the top 5 teams, who's really in the mix for a trophy or the title. But I think there's some fascinating storylines from 10 to 25. And you can really see some emerging programs, what new head coaches are making a real big impact on the program, what teams are turning the corner. And so I think next week when we get into our post-NCAA wrap-up, I think those are some of the things that we need to highlight, and we need to promote these guys and recognize these guys.
And you know what? I think we have done, I don't pat ourselves on the neck, but we have done a good job at balancing out the criticism we give to coaches with, we've talked a lot about these, Princeton or who else do we give credit to?
Even Michigan State. I mean, I saw Roger Chandler.
Northern Iowa.
Northern Iowa. Princeton, Lockheed.
Iowa State. Kevin Dresser
Look at what Lehigh, came back from the grave where they were decimated early in December. 6 guys out of the lineup, coming back, winning the EIWA title, another top 15 finish for the Mountain Hawks. I mean, Pat Santoro again doing a phenomenal job. I would really like to get into and touch on some of the other positive storylines, that didn't maybe get the recognition they adequately deserved during this weekend.
That's fair. All right, let's go to some questions.
Sure.
A few minutes. The wrestling, blah blah. We're at some point we have someone preparing questions for us. Bose Hodge Trophy. We both agree. Done.
Yeah.
Done.
I mean, barring an upset. I mean, I think Nickel secured the Hodge Trophy last night.
I agree.
And if any win, I mean, he wins the Hodge.
I think he's undefeated against Colin Moore.
He is.
Okay. Yeah. Would John Smith make the same lineup changes again if he could? If he did. So are we talking hindsight 2020? Is this like?
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's in.
It's tough because Gear did All-American, which is the one that I was picking on. He's the one that actually All-American. The other guys didn't.
And he's the one that I actually said, all along I've been like, I think Dakota Gear's got the goods to actually do some damage at the NCAA tournament, which he did. The other guys, For me, the big one is Jacoby Smith. He was undefeated at 174.
But, he beat up on Drew Foster. Drew Foster's in the finals.
Yeah, I know.
So if you're John Smith and you're looking at this tournament saying, well, damn, Jacoby beat him up. And then you're looking at, look at what Joe Smith did at 74. Joe Smith beat some of those All-Americans at 174. He hammered David McFadden.
Yeah, I know.
And then, obviously, Chandler's been super consistent at 165.
With big point scoring potential. I mean,
I think if you're John Smith and you watch this tournament, you could go back. You're going to put it the other way.
Yeah. But again, at a certain point, you got to go all in, and you have to have complete confidence in your decision, not only for your coaching staff, but for your guys in the team. If your guys in the team see a crack in the facade, a seed of doubt, you have to stand confidently behind that decision and live with the consequences. Yes. So, in hindsight, I mean, did he make the wrong decision? Well, it's easy to say that now, right?
Well, we're asking hindsight. So the answer is, if he knows, he's switching.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. I will eat some more Ben & Jerry's ice cream today. What way? I'm gonna complain about this. They are starting the finals at heavyweight, ending at Nickel Collin-Moore. I don't get it. No. Nickel Collin-Moore is not a competitive match. We talked about two we thought last night. Hall Valencia or Micah Jordan Ashton. The team race is not a thing at this point in time. No. So why are you letting Nickel Moore be the last match when there's not one person that is saying, what is your most anticipated finals match? And they're saying Nickel Moore.
And you know what? I don't want to give the NCAA a pass, but I think they've done a good job the past several years having a premier match.
This one wasn't as obvious as past years, I'll say.
But it's somewhat obvious because at 174 you have the only weight class with two national champs. So I think that the no-brainer is 174. This is the first time 197 sounds like a coronation match, right? We're coronating
a coronation match.
Yeah. Bo Nickel winning the Hodge. We already know that. Let's see the best match.
Here's a good bet for you. Someone said he's a 7.5 point favorite. So it must be on Bet DSI where they're betting. 7.5 points. Are you betting he wins by more than 7.5 or not? Obviously, a pin would be more than 7.5. More.
I know it's not Moore. I'm saying
you're betting on Nickel to win More.
Yeah, I've said it all along, and I think Nickel's going to have complete freedom in this match. He has complete confidence. He's going to go out, and does Moore actually try and win the match? That's the thing. Does Moore actually try and win the match?
And the more he tries to win, the worse it's going for him.
Yeah, I mean, the more he engages in wrestling. I just think it's stylistically a bad matchup for Colin Moore. And he's wrestled a phenomenal tournament, wrestled the best match he's wrestled, I think, in his career. One of his best matches last night in the semifinals. Will he go out and try and replicate that? Or will he try and keep it to a one takedown match where it comes to the last minute?
That's his best bet. That's probably what he should do, although it's not what he wants to do.
Right. It's what he has to do.
All right.
But I'm taking that. Yeah.
I got another going for you here, Matt. Spencer Lee -3. So that means he's got to win by at least 4 points because otherwise it's a push. So Spencer Lee by 4 or more or 2 or less. Ooh, tough one.
Man, I'm thinking. I'm going to make this call. He either gets on a complete roll, gets the first takedown, starts tilting him up, or he gets beat.
That's fair, but you can't bet that.
I can't. I know.
I'm gonna go less than. I honestly think. I think there's a decent chance Jack Mueller's gonna win.
You just think more.
So you got all
Mueller's
those points.
Gonna be gigantic.
He's gonna be gigantic. It's gonna be hard to move around. Yes, I think so. I think. And 3 points. So, even Spencer Lee at a 3-point win, you're still pushing on it. You're not losing money. Spencer's got to win by at least 4 points. I'm saying that's going to be tough for him to do. Yeah. Okay. Fix Soriano. Oh, that would have been a great final. I think that's actually going to be a boring match, unfortunately.
We've seen it multiple times. We've seen the 20,
it's just boring. 34 minutes.
34 match 0-0, whatever it was. Yes. We saw another dual meet where there were a bunch of injury times, challenges, this and that, where it ended up going another 30 minutes in a college match. So.
I like this guy.
Please, for the love of God, spare us that tonight.
DMMD is going to the odds. So it's a Soriano -1.5, -1.5. I'm betting.
Means it. Does that
he
mean
gets that?
I was going to be funny. I was going to say.
So he's the favorite. He's the favorite.
-1.5 points because that kind of has what it looked like with these guys.
That's a tough one because if they go into overtime and Soriano gets the takedown, that means he wins by 2, so he wins the bet. But I'm going to go. I actually think Fix is going to win it. I'm actually kind of surprised that Soriano would be a favorite in that one.
I tell you what, I think if this is what I'll say, like I've been impressed that Soriano has been going out, initiating action. I think if Soriano can resolve himself to have that same mentality,
yes,
one more time, and he goes out and attacks Fix, that's his best opportunity. I think this is, I think Soriano is a really bad matchup for DeSanto, and I think Fix is a bad matchup for Soriano.
Yes.
But if Soriano can come out and be the aggressor, which he's never tried to do,
he hasn't.
I think if he goes out and does that, I think I like his chances. I really do.
So if you were his coach, that's the mentality you'd have him on right now.
Yeah. I mean, how many times do you like, hey, let's back into a victory? This is the game plan. Let's back into a victory.
Well, I mean, what I think, I would argue that. So what I would say is that Nick Sirianni uses his pressure to set up his offense.
Sure.
And when he doesn't feel his openings, he doesn't go. So a guy like Lezak, who's able to move easy, he can get his opportunities easy. A guy like Fix, who he can't move, he doesn't see his opportunities. So what you would have to say as coaches, not just be more aggressive, is Nick, you're not going to see the perfect opening, and you're still going to have to take it.
Right. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. At a certain level, there's got to be an element of blind faith that if I do this, if I commit myself to my hand fighting, to my setup, my shot is going to be there. Yes. I may not see it, but I know if I combine my hands and my setup, I got to commit to that shot. Blind faith could.
I think you got to do it. You got to take a little less than optimal setup and just go attack.
Right. Because really, at the end of the day, if you do lose, you want to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, right? You don't want to say, yeah, I sat back, I held on, I played the conservative route. He's done that, and he lost last year.
Yes.
Does he want to walk away having the same feeling, or possibly having the same feeling again?
I agree.
Right?
I agree. I saw one other good question in here. Boom. Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't a question. Someone saying no karma. Hey, we were talking about this over lunch, Matt. So first of all, Hidlay got some karma because Hidlay got the hands of the face against Pantaleo to put the match into overtime, which then allowed him to go to the semifinals. But the other thing is, hey, if that's a takedown or not, and even Nolf admitted that he thought he got taken down, there's still 2 periods of wrestling left. We don't know how that initial call is going to affect the rest of the outcome. So, people are acting like Nolf got the biggest gift. I would actually say Kassar got a bigger gift because there wasn't really any time left in that one.
Right.
So I don't see the Jason Nolf hate. He's like the nicest, most humble guy. Like, if you're picking someone to hate, for me, I don't know how you're picking Jason Nolf to hate. That's a weird one.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I mean, you touched on it, but let's reintroduce the point again. To make it to the finals, typically you get a good break along the way. Somewhere in these matches that, over 3 days, you typically need a break to go your way. And
yes.
We don't. We look.
You forget about those.
Hey, hands to the face. We could be talking about Pantaleo in the finals, right?
Because Pantaleo came back and beat
Hidlay again.
And beat Hidlay for third. And Pantaleo actually has given a couple tough matches to Nolf.
Right.
They're not super close, but close enough in the past couple of years. So, it's super disappointing. Someone said Nolf scored 3 points in the last 5 seconds of the match of the periods. I'm assuming he's meaning. Is that true? I'm gonna look it up. We got the results right here. Hidlay, okay. No, he scores escape and takedown right there. What are you talking about, dude?
And even if he did score it in the last 5 seconds,
it's irrelevant,
he still
right?
Scored it.
I mean, scoring a takedown with 5 seconds left is one of the best times you can score it because then they can't get an escape.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
I mean, that's the execution you talk about. If you get taken down, you want to end the match on your feet. If you take a guy down, you want to finish on top. So, I mean, that's just basic match execution that you got to focus on.
Oh, betonline.ag is also offering odds. Who will dethrone Penn State next year? I think, if Kassar gets that injury, we're going to talk about this next week, but if Kassar gets the 6-year like we were talking about, I think they have a really good chance of winning still.
I think they do. I mean, especially with their history of the way they've developed guys, they're frontline guys. We've had a discussion about some of the other things, but I think this will maybe be the first time in a number of years where on paper
they're not the favorite.
They're not going to be.
They're not going to be the favorite. That's fact.
But until someone beats you, you're the favorite.
Yes, I mean they're going to have good. So if they get Kassar back, that's a big if for me.
And maybe Rashid. We've heard.
I don't think so.
I don't
Rashid.
think that's going to happen. I don't think. I think Kassar should. He's had 2 major shoulder surgeries throughout his career that have kind of taken away 2 of his seasons. So he should. He meets that criteria. So I would be surprised if he doesn't.
So you're going to have Bravo Young, All-American, Nick Lee, All-American. But both those guys are going to have a hard time moving up because there's so many younger guys in that bracket.
Right.
You're going to have Chenzo, Hall back, national champs, and then Kassar, finalists. So they will have 3 finalists back. So
then you got
some high-end talent.
Rick Claren, you got Berge, you've got Beard coming in. You've got
possibly
Aaron Brooks.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the familiar faces are going to be gone. But there was similar. If you think about 5 years ago when David Taylor and Quentin Wright graduated, they're like
Ruth,
Ed Ruth. I mean, how are you going to replace these 2 guys?
Yeah, they might.
Nobody thought it was possible, and arguably, Bo Nickel, Jason Ulf, Rutherford exceeded those guys in some of the ways. So don't put it past Penn State to roll out a new crop of guys that are going to perform right away at a very high level. Like from what we've seen with Aaron Brooks, I know it's been more freestyle oriented.
I haven't been that. We weren't impressed with it. I wasn't that impressed with Midlands.
Right.
So
I think he needs to get in Penn State's room. I don't think being out at the training centers is the best situation for folk style wrestling.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, Matt, you got any other thoughts? We've been going for about 40 minutes. We'll be done. And then, guys, we are not doing a wrap-up tonight. I got to hit the road. We're going to get our Monday show is going to be an NCAA wrap-up. On the following day, we'll probably talk about maybe start looking forward to next year, something to that effect. Maybe talking about the good red shirts or good freshmen that are going to be coming in and making waves next year.
Yeah, there's the inevitable coaching carousel that always comes
I feel like there's been so much in the past few years of the coaching carousel that there's not that many jobs that are going to open.
But I think that's what people always say. A couple years ago, there was multiple years where there was a lot of movement. There was like, surely next year there's not going to be anything. And
really? So I felt like there was so many years where we were waiting for that whole like Goldman, Minkle, Purdue to kind of switch hands. And now a lot of those programs have turned over and they're doing better. And I think a lot of those programs turning over kind of forced other people to make moves, if you will. Michigan's another one, Wisconsin's another one. And they've all just turned over recently. So obviously we had Maryland, but I don't.
It's all about where the dominoes stop.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's all contingent. Okay. If Maryland opens,
takes a head coach.
It takes another head coach to take that head coaching job, and then it takes that university not promoting their head assistant.
Yes.
It's another head coach, and then you kind of start seeing the dominoes start falling. So it should be interesting over the next month, but it's also going to be fun to transition into some freestyle talk.
Absolutely.
I know that's something that we love talking about, so that's going to be fun. Hopefully we start incorporating more interviews and some different content.
Imar's going to come on.
Yeah, Isaiah is ready to come on. I think we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff here in the spring that hopefully diversifies the podcast outside of just talking about weekly results.
Man, I don't care. I love the college season.
It's great.
I'm not excited to talk about other stuff. I'm sad the college season's over already. Yeah. All right, that's it for us. Finals. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
7 p.m. Eastern at ESPN. Watch them, love them, enjoy them, cherish them. And that's it for us this weekend in Pittsburgh. We've done 5 shows in the last 3 days. It's kind of exhausting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll definitely be back next year in Minneapolis. And we might even, maybe, I know we talked about this, be going to Astana for the World Championships. If we do that, we are going live podcasting. So that's it for us. We will talk to you guys later.